fans, do you want to win your share of $100,000? Simply enter the houseofboxing.com Fight Night Prediction Challenge. Compete with boxing fans around the world. Simply head over to houseofboxing.com and sign up now.
This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and William Hill. Delighted to be joined in Brixton with Isaac Chamberlain. Only 4 weeks out now. A massive, massive fight for you. One that's been a long time coming. Mikael Lawal. How's things, mate? How are we feeling?
Yeah, I feel good, man. Feel good. Training's going great. What can I say, man? Everything's going great.
This fight is a massive fight. It was meant to happen before. It was meant to happen in May. It's happening now in October. How excited are you to sort of just finally get your hands on the WOW after the frustrations of Bournemouth, really? Because that was a very frustrating time where you had a replacement opponent, didn't end up fighting, and fought obviously in June since then. Are you just excited now to have a real big fight to get yourself up for it?
Yeah, of course, but I'm up for every fight anyway. But I'm very excited. I'm just focused on the preparation. I'm kind of mellow, I'm chilled, until the bell rings, that's when I'm like, yeah. But right now I'm chilled, man. I'm working hard, so it's all good.
Absolutely, and this is actually your first time fighting for the British title. Fought for the Commonwealth before, and obviously the European. And you've been around the domestic circuit for a long time. You've been at the top. You've only ever lost to world champions. So, does it feel good to fight for a British title in a way?
Yeah, definitely. I've always wanted to fight for a British title. It's a great fight. It's a great belt. One of the best looking belts in boxing, to be honest. And it'll be great to win that and represent being a great Britain champion. And
with your experience, as we said there, only ever lost to Billam-Smith and Okoli, who are obviously 2 world champions now. These experiences, how much of that set you in such good stead, especially when you fight someone like Lawal, who that on an experience level, I've already done, I've been at the level that he's not really been at?
It'll put me in good stead. Well, obviously, fighting someone like Lawal, you don't know what he could come with. Do you know what I mean? So that's why you have to be very wary, you have to be very smart. And obviously he's a big puncher, so I have to be on point. But I'm good, man. I can't wait for this. Can't wait.
One thing I did want to say to you there, and you talked about a previous interview there about sort of the adversity you had growing up and how much boxing loves you, like how much you love boxing. Sorry, but even still, when we talked about, I just said about the experiences there, with the Billam-Smith fight where you suffered injuries there and suffered bad injuries, and I think about the Camacho fight where that was so tough, and dislocating your shoulder and going through all these injuries and going through the adversity in a way, and coming out on top. How much do you learn from something like that, and how much do you think you benefit in long-term career, especially something like the Camacho fight when you look back on it, and that was the first real one that you really had to test your character in the ring?
You never really know until it's tested. You never really know what you're about until you get thrown in. So I know what I'm about, man. So it's one of them things where you can't really measure this. Do you know what I mean? You can't measure this, and how can I say this? It's done very well for me. But I already know I already knew what I had long before it got tested. So I'm all good.
I was going to say, you don't really, like you said there, you don't really know before you get tested, but do you feel like sometimes, like, in life, when life tests you, maybe, I can't speak, I don't know what you've gone through in your life, but sometimes when you have difficult time in your life, you feel like, whatever I've already gone, whatever happens in the ring, I've already been through sort of these adversities in life.
Yeah, of course. Well, the ring and life is very different. Life is much harder. Do you know what I mean? So I take, you just have to take everything as it comes. Do you know what I mean? You can't really overthink too much or look into the past too much or look too much into the future. Do you know what I mean? You just got to focus on the present and focus on doing what I can do today, which is what I'm already doing.
So we'll talk about where you are. We did mention taking on Mikael Lawal. The build-up for this fight has been a big back and forth. It started really when he won the British title in November. You came on, you said, "Who's next? Who's next?" This has been a long build-up, and it was meant to happen in May. It's been good. Do you feel like this is sort of it's all good for you, and this is so this hype is you're going to both benefit from it because it's going to 100% get more eyes on the fight on the chief support of the Buatsi as he's on the card.
Yeah, it's going to be big. It's going to be big. Probably maybe one of the biggest fights I've ever participated in. But this is what it's all about. This is why we're here, so you can look back one day and be like, wow, look what I did here. Look what I did here. Look how many shows I headlined and the fights that I've been in and all of these things. So you can look back and be like, wow, this was a journey. And It's all good, man. I'm happy. I'm happy with what I've done so far, and I just can't wait for what's next. And that's what I'm striving for. I'm striving for the next best thing that I can do right now.
Do you feel like, in a way, whilst you have these disliking for a while, and it's, I'm sure you have, you're very frustrated with him, but
I don't have a dislike for him. Like, it's business, man.
but in a way, what I was going to say, it's good to have something. It's good to have a dance partner that you know that he's going to bring the best out of you.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. And the best we'll see, man. Because I'm training to bring the best out of myself anyway. That's what I do regardless. So I don't really need him to bring the best out of me. I attempt to do that myself, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be interesting to see how he comes at me.
And with you saying that, you said you don't dislike him, but there must be some sort of frustration. There must be so much frustration because you think about going back to Bournemouth, as I was saying there, pulling out with a dental injury. I know you mocked him with the toothbrush and things like that. That's something that we don't really see people pulling out with dental injuries or things like that. So there must be some added frustration for that whole sort of debacle.
Yeah, of course. Even when he said he had the dental injury, and then after he was like, the same time he was saying he was going through a tough period. So which one was it? Was it a dental injury or he was going through a tough period? Or was it both? I don't know. But it doesn't matter what's fighting now. I don't really like to dwell too much on the past, like, oh, what's happened and he said this and that. Because at the end of the day, we're both fighting.
And talking about there, I said about when he won the British title and you spotted him and everything was all cool. Why do you think this energy has changed from the press conference, from him, from this sort of the back and forth really started? Why do you think this energy changed? Because you said in the face-off about you feel like people have got in his head in a way.
Probably his friends gassed him and said, "Hey, don't let that guy come up and say all of these things. Probably kind of disrespected your moment or whatever." So he must have worked. Well, you know what he did. Da, 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 da. So maybe I could be wrong. Something might have happened. I don't know. Well. Honestly, I'm getting to that stage now where none of that really matters anymore. The only thing that matters is that we're gonna fight.
Was you confused by the energy in the press conference for the original day?
I wasn't confused, but I was just like, okay, because you can't really be confused. You have to expect the unexpected in this game. So I was kind of okay, all right. He was saying, you think you're bad with your tattoos and your gold tooth. I was thinking, mate, you got more tattoos than me. Like, what are you talking about? What are you on for real? Like, okay, you know what I mean? Well, I think he's very heated. He's a very heated, animated guy. He's just like, so we're gonna see what happens October 21st if you're still gonna be animated.
Does that bring the best out of you, or are you someone that you don't focus on that? You say whatever the opponent is, I'm coming in the same preparation, no matter what they're saying, no matter what they're talking about, I'm preparing the same. It doesn't make no difference for me.
Regardless, I am what I am. I'm about what I'm about. It doesn't really change anything. He's gonna see me, and we're gonna get it cracking.
Well, I just mentioned the face-off there. What did you make of that whole face-off? It seemed like you hold a lot of court, and a lot of stuff he's saying he didn't really have much answers for.
Which one?
The one that boxed on with Spencer Oliver.
Oh, mate. I was just trying to understand him, but I don't think he even understands himself. Like, I was trying to he was saying, oh, you're not on my level. Then I was like, okay, so what level are you under? And he started saying, you'll see. Yeah. Then he wears gardening gloves. He had his flies undone. Like, just bare madness happening. I don't know what's going on here, bro. So he's a bit of a strange fella, but it all makes for a good fight, good promotion. It all makes for a good fight. So yeah.
One thing I did want to say, and I think it confused a lot of people, is him saying that Ben Shalom wants me beat, boxer want him get beat. Like, what did you make of them comments?
I have no idea. I have not. Honestly, that sounds like a little private issue going on between them, bruv. I don't know. I have no idea. He thinks the world is against him. I remember he brought it up. He said the world is against me, but obviously that don't matter right now. So why bring it up if it doesn't matter? Okay, why is the world against you? Maybe you need that to gas yourself up. I don't know.
Do you feel like you've 100% got the mental wedge in the fight, and do you feel like you've already beaten him mentally?
I don't really think of all of that, because you could be like that at the press conference and stuff, but on fight night you could be a changed person. So you can't really think, oh yeah, I've beaten him mentally. Because when like all of this is just talk and all of that. But when it's the fight, it's very different.
And for yourself, a winning, getting the British title, moving on, how much? And the Commonwealth, British and the Commonwealth, kicking on into being in big fights again, and really sort of getting some leverage on your name that you really want to be back in the mix with the guys like Coley and Billam-Smith.
Yeah, 100%. That's the target. Hopefully, gets one version of a world title. You know, WBA or the WBC or something, and then imagine the CBS rematch, big on Sky Sports box office.
And for yourself there, when you look at the cruiserweights, you've got yourself, you know, you've got Lawal, you've got Chev Clark, you know, we've got Riakporhe. I could go on for so many. You must be so excited at the prospect of being in, you know, you've been in the big fights. You can continue to be in the big fights because, you know, it's such a good domestic division and even on the world stage as well.
Yeah, it's an amazing division with amazing fighters, and it's great. It's great to be a part of.
100%. Isaac, just as we finish this off, what happens on October the 21st?
I think you know what happens.
I'll keep it to myself. Thank you, Isaac, for the time. I appreciate you coming down to speak to me, and all the best for a couple of weeks' time. Thank you, mate. Cheers.